it once again.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video review. Today we're looking at a small, unique, sort of niche meter. It's the Isotech IDM 63N. Now this is a now discontinued product. You still can buy it online, although availability is limited. That being said, it's quite a interesting little meter. And when I say interesting, I mean in the fact that if you look at the ranges, they're quite sparse. We have the volts AC/DC, resistance, continuity diode, and microamps, and that's it. You don't have a whole lot of functionality. But that being said, I still think it's deserving of a look. Right away, you'll notice that green holster kind of stares at you like the goblin, and your color preference, you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. And honestly, I haven't made up my mind. You know, some people have their preferences. Yellow, fluke style. Green for me is more Maztec-y, even Kairitsu style. But this is really almost like a neon green, so it's quite bright. I guess I would say I like it, but probably wouldn't have been my first color choice. But enough of the color. If we actually take the meter out of the holster, which I will try to do without... You can see it is a very small meter. Now I've already taken the screw off the back, so I'm trying to hold it together. But there is no tilting stand or standing bail on the back of this meter. It is strictly a la carte. No backlight. You do, however, have a bar graph, as you can see, and that bar graph apparently updates 5 times per second. Now, the range switch itself has an okay feel to it. It's a little spongy. I do find the constant beeping when you switch ranges annoying as hell, but hey. On the back of the meter, we can see that it is made in Taiwan. And you can see what I mean by slender. Yeah, this is a really slender. I mean, you could literally stick this in your pocket and, hey, people are going to think you're walking around with a pocket rocket. I don't know. For the inputs themselves, you've got your standard COM and the volts, resistance, and microamp. And they are color-coded. Sometimes you get the meters that don't have the proper color codes. I'll never understand why. But at least here we have the red and the black. And the rating on this is a Cat 3 maximum 600 volts. Display itself, as you can see, visually it's, I don't know. For me, it's a little chunky. It's a small display, but the LCD numerics are bulky, kind of bold, and I don't think it's a great choice for such a small display. Now, you do have a range switch, so you can go from auto to manual, which is kind of cool. But we'll look at that a little more detail in a bit. The probes themselves, let us take a look. So right away, yeah, they're actually fairly large. If I can ever get them out of the bag, and I've just impaled. Oh my God. There we go. So yeah, the probes themselves are quite long actually. I was expecting a shorter probe, but if we put them right up against the meter, let me just zoom out here. So yeah, they're pretty well almost the same size as the meter. Now that being said, they are pretty decent probes. I'm actually quite impressed. Very, very sharp tip. Have an unusual conical kind of style end here. It's not round. I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually flat, almost like a triangle here. So it feels actually pretty good in the hand. Now, do we have a rating on this? We have a 10 amp rating. And what do we got here? Cat 2 1000 volts. And I would definitely say that, yes, this will get you there. Look on the other end, you've got that little insulated insert. That is hard to come out. Oh my God. Okay. So a lot of sheathing, very nice. And you've got these little thumb grips here. So, yeah, I like it. So here we are. Wow. So here we are taking a look at the inside, and first thing I will show you is we actually have some shielding. That's right along the selector switch, and pleasant surprise. Now we can pull off the push buttons, give us a little better look. So now this doesn't do amps, what have you, so we don't have a current shunt, but we do have, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 PTCs, 4 PTCs. Some resistor clamping going on here. We have a transistor clamp down here. And it looks like we have a couple of gas discharge tubes as well, right in the middle. So in terms of the input protection, not too shabby. I really wasn't expecting to see 4 PTCs. The selector knob itself is very well made. It has a gold, I don't know if we can see that or not, but the surface mount on that selector switch is gold plated, and it looks quite robust. This is the display head here. What I'm going to do is actually just lift this up. Oh, so underneath it as well, there's the piezo or the buzzer, and as you can see, we have more shielding. Excellent, Isotech. So if we reverse the PCB, here we go. I am not seeing any date of manufacture. Very clean, very well machined. Those are the battery connectors for the power output. And there are the 2, if you can see right here, these are the input headers, and they have actually been screwed directly into the PCB. So that's actually a really elegant solution, because, yeah, those aren't going anywhere. So no soldering whatsoever on the input connectors. They are strictly screwed into the board, into the PCB, and they do have standoffs, washers as well to lock them in place. So cool. I like that. And if we take a look here at the LCD display itself, this would just pop off, I believe. Oh, so it looks like we have some trim pot, some sort of calibration adjustment mechanism right here. And that appears to be a rather large, I'm going to hasten to guess and say it's a capacitor that's bent over on the side. Now I believe these are running the Cyrus tick as their IC. I'm 98% sure on that one. And we probably have some voltage references in there as well. I don't know if I can take this top off without completely destroying the meter. Let's see. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. survey says. And oh, alrighty, Aphrodite. There we go. Okay, so there's the elastomer here. This black line here, that's what's feeding the display. That connects to the plated surface right here. So you always want to keep your hands away from that, otherwise you can have missing digits and messed up numerics. And yeah, it looks like, let me just zoom in if I can. Yeah, that is a Cyrus-Tech. ES519710. So the IC is from Cyrus-Tech. And look at that capacitor, just bent right over. And they've actually glued it for some reason to the IC. I'm not sure why they did that, but other than to keep it in place. I just did the biggest faux pas. I should not have done that. Oh well. Yeah, I put my big thumb here. Anyway. So all in all, I mean, you've got a sort of a interesting melange of SMD and a couple of through-hole, but very clean, very nicely done. Absolutely, I don't see anything here that looks out of place or, you know, everything looks extremely great. I'm just trying to get this in focus for you. What the heck is going on here? Focus, damn it. So it's a busy PCB, small, but I would say definitely more than adequate protection here. So yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 4 PTCs. Oh, hang on, is that a date? Oh, I see a date, or do I see a date? 1633. Wow, this was manufactured 400 years ago. Oh, bad joke. Yeah, so all in all, very nice, very clean. I do like the way they've done the inputs, and there's absolutely no flux residue or anything on this board. It is extremely squeaky clean, and I like it. Alrighty, I'm going to put this back together. Be right back. One thing I wanted to point out quickly is there's only one screw, one long Phillips that goes directly into here. And it is a plastic encasement there, so no nice metal threading. So if you do take this part a lot, just buyer beware. But yeah, other than that, nicely made. And checking the Isotech for current draw, you can see that we're looking around 1.46, 1.47 milliamps. Okay, so we will now measure the fallout voltage when we actually will lose the display due to lack of power. We are hooked up to another multimeter Metra hit, 2+, and here we go. So we're sitting now just over 3 volts DC. We're going to slowly bring that voltage down. Okay, we're at 2.9 volts, no issues. .7 volts, fine, still going strong. 2.6 volts, 2.5, 4, 3. Still no problems with the Isotech. And now we're hovering just at around 2 volts. And the Isotech, is still going strong. Now we're at 1.9 volts, 1.8, 1.7. Remember, this Isotech is powered by 2 AAA 1.5 volt batteries, so there we go. We've just lost the display at around 1.6 volts. 1.6 volts. So just to confirm, we're sitting at around 2.4 volts right now, and there is still no low battery indicator as well. And coming down to 2.3, and there is the low battery volt indicator popping up on the Isotech. And that's at 2.3 volts that comes up. So relatively early. So still when we bring down the voltage, 1.8 volts, we're still good. 1.7, 1.6, and it's fade to black. Excellent. So you're going to get a lot of battery life with this little meter. It's certainly not a draining hog, and it's going to last you quite a long time. I would approximate about 700 to 800 hours of battery time with the current drain. Excellent. Okay, we'll do a quick voltage test now, comparison with the MetroHit 2 Plus. Here we go. We're sitting just in the low millivolts right now, and they're both pretty well reading 34.2 millivolts, 34.3 for the Isotech. Okay, so bringing up that voltage now. So 7 volts, 8 volts, 9, 10. Going up to 17, 18, 19. And according to the DC power supply, we are 20 volts and 20.2 for the MetroHit, 20.29. So 20.3, so pretty well spot on, neck and neck. Going up further. Remember, we can only go just around 30 volts with this DC power supply. 29.78, 29.78. Look at that, pretty well spot on. And we'll max it out right now. 31.91 showing on the Gaussian. 31.89 for the Isotech IDM 63N. So good job, Isotech. You kept up with the big boys. Next up, one of my favorites, the continuity test. These are the default leads that the IDM 63N ships with. Let's see how they sound. It's loud, but it is, there's a delay, definitely. The response time's not the greatest. It's latched. And once again, it is loud, but yeah, it's missing a few. We're going to do the same continuity test, but this time we're going to utilize the Probe Masters and see if there's any difference. So here we are with the Probe Masters. Wow, what a difference. So same meter, different set of leads. Now the other ones, I mean, that wasn't bad. You know, it was still loud, there was still latched, but with these Probe Masters, it's pretty well instantaneous. Get yourself a set of Probe Masters. Okay, we're going to do a quick resistance test with the Decade box. I've got the Isotech IDM 63N plugged in, and right now we are sitting at 9.99 mega ohm. And as you can see, we're pretty close. 9.98, 9.97. Remember, the display is a 3200 count LCD readout, and I believe it is 65 segment analog bar graph. So we will take it down a couple to 7 mega ohm, 9.99. Hey, look at that. Wow, that's really close. So let's make it 7 even. How does it fare? 6.9. Let's see how it settles. 6.98 mega ohm. Gonna bring it down to 3 mega ohm. Pretty close, pretty close. 2.99 mega ohm. Down to 1 mega ohm. And Isotech is showing us as 9. Just 0.995, so about 4 or 5 counts out. Excellent. Finally, we'll take a quick look at the LED testing for the Isotech. Now, for the diodes themselves, the maximum of the circuit is 3.3 volts. So let's see how that fares. We're going to start off with the red LED. Now this one is, I believe, 1.8 to 2.4 volts. And no problem there, lights it up. Let's go to the, I believe that's the yellow LED. That's around 1.8 to 2.4 volts. And once again, no problem. And we'll go down to the white. That's 2.8 to 3.6 volts. Will it light up? And yes, it does. And we're not getting the forward voltage drop, but it is lighting up the diode. So for the other two, we were also getting that forward voltage drop. Going up to the blue LED, 1.8 to 2.4 volts. And it does light it up. Once again, no voltage indication, but it does light that LED so you can check at least if it's good or bad. And finally, the green LED, another 1.8 to 2.6 volts, I believe. And it is lighting it up. It's a little hard to see, but it is. And we are once again seeing the forward voltage drop, 1.8 volts. So, hey, good job, Isotech. You were able to light up all of the LEDs. Final thoughts on the IDM 63N from Isotech, the now discontinued model. Well, I'd say grab one if you can. It is quite a capable little multimeter. It is small. It can fit pretty well anywhere you want it to. It's a little bit bigger than your standard pocket meter, but in terms of the overall bulkiness, it's a great little meter to have around. It's quite capable. I did forget to mention that it also comes with one black alligator clip. So you get that as well as the leads. And once again, the leads are actually quite nice. Feel great in the hand, and I really like these leads. It's a decent meter. It doesn't do current per se. You've got your microamp range, which is limited, but yeah, that's too bad in that department. But what it does do, the voltage, it's spot on accurate. Resistance, it only goes up to 30 mega ohms, so it's not a whole lot these days, but it is quite accurate in that department as well. The continuity works great, especially with the Probe Masters. It's a great little meter. I picked this up for around, well, believe it or not, about $28 US, around 33 Canadian. So at that price, I think it's a steal. You saw the insides, really well made. Some pretty decent input protection considering what this meter is capable of doing. All in all, I think the Isotech IDM 63N is a bargain, and if you can find one, grab it while you can. I'm giving the IDM 63N a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until the next time, keep on testing.